yeah, just doing my part,
Yeah, Connor McDavid just doing his part to the tune of 18 points in 9 games. Another 3-point night in the Battle of Alberta, helping the Oilers to a much-needed win, wrapping up an absolutely perfect 3-game road trip. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Got Your Back Short Shift Edition, late Sunday night edition, brought to you by Mid-City Construction Management. They're a locally owned family company specializing in civil construction projects for over 40 years, from roadways to excavation, underground utilities, paving, and concrete. They've played a huge role in the infrastructure of Edmonton and surrounding areas since 1980. I actually had a chance to visit a few of their key construction sites around town last week. I gotta tell you, it's pretty impressive stuff, man. Massive projects that they take on. And until you actually get out there and get a chance to see it all, you don't realize the scope of these projects that these construction companies are taking on. Really cool that a local company, a family company, is dealing with some projects of that size. By the way, one of the great things about Mid-City Construction being a sponsor on short shifts this year, they're going to do some giveaways. And yes, folks, we're talking Oiler ticket giveaways. We got one ready to go. You want to go to the game next weekend against the Dallas Stars? It's a nice afternoon game. I believe it's a 2 o'clock start. Well, they've got not just 2 tickets, but 2 club tickets. How about that? So here's what you have to do. Follow them on Twitter at MidCity Inc. Then DM them the answer to this trivia question. It's really easy. I'm going to ask you right now. And then we'll announce the winner on Friday. So here is the trivia question. Who scored the Oilers' first goal Saturday night against the Calgary Flames? Who got the Oilers' first goal Saturday night against the Calgary Flames? Follow at MidCity Inc. on Twitter. DM them the answer. And your name will go into a draw. And you got a chance to go to the game against the Dallas Stars next Saturday. And a big thanks to our title sponsors here on Got Your Back Short Shifts, Mid-City Construction Management, for putting those 2 tickets forward. Once again, DM the answer. Who scored the Oilers' first goal against the Calgary Flames on Saturday to at Mid-City Inc. As we welcome Jason Strudwick here on a Sunday night, a Sunday night pod, Struddy. I'm in my cozy clothes already. It's been a long weekend, man. I've been banged up this weekend. I'm not going to lie to you.
Yeah, I've been banged up in a different way. Actually just got home from the Oil Kings game.
Oh, nice.
They're under, how should I say it? Renovation right now, I think, as a team. But that's a cycle of junior hockey, right? Red Deer looks pretty good. But man, I love it. In the last 2 weeks, I've been to a junior A game. I've been to now a WHL game, an AHL game, and next week I'm going to a Golden Bear game. Like, there's so much different hockey. Yeah, well, I really enjoy it, and I love going with my kids. They enjoy it. It's a lot of fun, and they're all good hockey. Yeah, the levels may be a little higher than NHL, or a lot higher depending on which player, but it's all good hockey.
Yeah, that's awesome. So my wife has been frustrated. No, not frustrated. More laughing at me than anything. Like, I've been accused of getting the man cold, and
lots.
And it's a thing in my house when I get sick. I honestly don't think people realize just how sick I get when I get sick. Because if they knew, there'd be a lot more sympathy, I think, or a lot less making fun of me. But just that annoying cold, it kicked in. The headache, the sinuses, the whole bit. Laid in bed for a couple of days. I'm feeling quite a bit better here tonight, Struddy, but just a waste of a weekend. We had plans. We were going to have friends over, games night, rip it up a little bit. Didn't have the kids. It was going to be a good weekend. And just Squattsville. Nothing. Nathan, nada.
Well, when you text me about this, and are we going to do it tonight or tomorrow? And I was like, well, tonight would be my preference. I need a little sleep. And I've been sick for 2 days. I was going to text you. I thought I'd save it for this platform. Are you playing in the game or talking about it? How sick are you? You can't do a podcast 30 minutes. I thought I was going to text him. I'll save it for this so everyone can hear it. I was like, whoa.
I mean, I could do it, but I'd be sniffling and sneezing.
Right.
And the headache is the main thing. I can push through a lot. I have a hard time pushing through headaches. Is it just me? To me, that's the kind of the deal breaker. If I got a bad screamer, I can't. I'm pretty useless when I get a headache.
I don't ever really get headaches, and I'm not trying to be a hero. It's unfortunate I don't. My wife gets them, but I do get them when I drink red wine or any kind of wine, really.
Oh
So
yeah.
I don't drink wine. So I obviously drink a lot of harder stuff, right?
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
Shona throws the old got a headache at you quite a bit, does she?
Oh yeah,
You hear
yeah.
that quite a bit?
Oh yeah. She puts the long robe on and just shut down.
The onesie, the Sunday night
Oh,
onesie.
whoa.
Hey,
It's Saturday night, the third Saturday of every week, or of every year, or
every
every month,
month.
I should say, then every leap year. So very
Uh,
special times.
you sporting a little something on the nose there? What do you got? What's going on
Yeah.
there?
I got hit by a stick. I hit by a stick in practice.
By
High stick.
one of your kids?
Yeah, one of the kids. Yeah, high stick. So
Really?
took a chunk out. Yeah, I didn't miss a shift. I'm sure that
Yeah.
someone like you who's maybe more in touch with their um, body would have been out for a longer time. But I didn't miss the whistle. I just kept blowing the whistle.
Yeah.
They paid for it later. I bagged skating them, but
Oh, okay. Yeah. You punished them all?
oh yeah, they have to learn. You don't hit the head coach.
I can't remember if I told you this story or not last year, but when I was in Kamloops camp as a 16-year-old, you might have actually even been at that camp. I wonder if you were at that camp. I don't know if you and I were ever at camp together. You're a couple years older than I am, but I was in camp as a 16-year-old. Excuse me. And first day of camp, that was the year Kevin Lowe was holding out, or was he? I don't know. He was with the team. Were you there that year?
I think it was before me, maybe even. Yeah.
Yeah.
I just talked to him about this the other day.
No, it wasn't before you. No. This was after because I was there as a 16-year-old.
Oh, okay, yeah.
So I'm 45. How old are you?
47.
So you're 2 years old. Anyways, whatever. I was at Blazer camp. Kevin Lowe was on the ice.
Yeah.
For some reason, he hadn't left for NHL camp yet. This would have been like 94. Didn't he?
Mm-hmm.
Did he hold out, or did he have a contract?
I think he
did.
did. Then he got traded, I think, to the Rangers at that point.
Anyway, we don't want to misrepresent it, but so we're doing one-on-one drills, and he's out skating with us to stay in shape. And I go down the ice one-on-one on Kevin Lowe, and I'm hacking the thing square up ice, scared out of my mind, cut across the middle, fire a backhand, and snap my stick right up across his chin and bust him open. So 16 years old, grew up watching this guy play, busted his chin open, he's bleeding.
Yeah.
And they had to go off for the butterfly bandage and stuff. And I got to remind him of that like 20 years later when I was working, when I was not maybe 20. Yeah. A few years later when I was back at Edmonton covering the team, I was like, hey, you remember? And he's like, yeah.
I do. Yeah. Yeah. Hope you're better at reporting than as a hockey player.
Yeah, exactly.
That's right, what he said.
Yeah. No, I don't think so. I think I was more of a pain in his ass as a reporter than I was as a 16-year-old in camp that year. Okay, so listen, the first month of the season is done here. And, let's dig a little bit into the road trip, the Battle of Alberta, and kind of what we've seen here for the last month from this team. Where do you want to start with the Battle of Alberta? A pretty solid road win against a good Calgary team. What stood out to you that night?
Well, I'll give you credit, and this will probably never happen again. So let's get this taped.
Well, I wasn't going to say.
Yeah, no, I have to, take my medicine. But the Stuart Skinner, you and I had a pretty, lively debate about Stuart Skinner versus Jack Campbell, and they did play Skinner. They also played Markstrom down there in Calgary, and not that I didn't expect Stu Skinner to have a good game, and I thought he had a good game. He made some timely saves, but they got the win. And at the end of the day, they are in the business of winning. Jack Campbell now, does he play the next game? I don't want to have this debate every day, but it's where do they go from here? But at the end of the day, they got the win. And that is what they needed. And again, I want to be clear on that because I got a bit of pushback from friends that's saying, we don't believe in Stu Skinner. I said, it's not that I don't believe in Stu Skinner. That is not what I'm saying. And he's building, again, the resume of confidence or his resume is building confidence in his teammates and the management and coaches. But I would have gone with Jack Campbell. Now, we'll never know if I was right or wrong, but Stu Skinner got it done. And when you win as the other goalie, I'm assuming it's a lot easier to swallow that than if they would have lost, let's say, 5-2.
Yeah, and I think that, I think it's a really healthy competition between the two. And I think we are early enough in the season. Like, what was that, Skinner's third start in 9 games? So it's not like they've been giving him more of the workload than we expected them to give him. But again, their last 2 most difficult and important starts, Skinner's gotten. He got the St. Louis game, which surprised me. And to me, that was the tell that, maybe they would be willing to give him the start against the Calgary Flames. And they did. One of the things that some had suggested or some had thought was that if they gave Skinner the start, that it would create a little bit of, I don't even know what the right word is. Goaltending controversy is probably too strong a word, but that it would put them in a position where now they got to answer questions, and Campbell's got to answer questions. And, I think Campbell will go against Nashville and he'll get a chance to just play a really good game and return serve. But I do think that Campbell and Skinner are the type of guys that can probably handle what little bit of conversation there is going on about this in the early going here.
Yeah, and I think Campbell especially. I think that he's a guy that his career in the NHL hasn't been meteoric rise, right? Like his was a slow grind.
Yeah, he's been through some stuff.
And he's on his big contract here. Like he did get paid. But, I think team-wise, that win for Skinner and that in the St. Louis win are huge ones, because I've been on a team where you not necessarily, not that you don't trust the backup, but you're like, okay, this will be maybe a little bit different tonight. But Stuart Skinner, he was involved in the wins. Sometimes a goalie can play the game but not be involved. I thought he was involved in both wins. And now you look at the Oilers as a larger kind of conversation. They have 4 really good wins on their win column. Yep. Carolina, Pittsburgh, St. Louis, and Calgary. Those are 4 that you can say, guys, I think they'll all be, St. Louis, I think will be a playoff team, but I mean, they should be fighting. Like 4 of those teams are going to be hard out, in the regular season, and they have 4 of them in recent action. Yeah. And different people are contributing. With some of those wins were with 97 not doing a lot. Now some he's done a ton in, so it kind of balances out. But you have different goalies winning. You have not a lot of injuries. Mostly the same lines recently. Shocker. I mean, I know there's a bit of a flip flop, but the top 6 I think is kind of fluid at times. Yeah. But they're 6-3. I think Oilers fans should be comfortable and confident with where this team is right now. And I don't think they're a finished product. Let's make that clear.
Yeah, we're seeing less and less fluctuation night in, night out from their lines. Yeah. And that's an indication that they've found more of the formula that they've been looking for. The head coach is no longer in search period to period. The group seems to have found it, and that's why we're seeing some more consistency. Let's get to the Weiss Johnson Soundbox, and we'll remind you it's a great time of year to look into a furnace for the garage. Winter is coming, and if you want to let the family get into a nice, toasty, warm car, give them a shout. They'll come out and give you a quote. They've also got some end-of-season air conditioners at 15% off right now. You can visit the showroom at 5803 Roper Road. That's Weiss Johnson. Okay, let's get to Jay Woodcroft talking about bigger picture, kind of where they are at. He said that he and his coaching staff were chatting about it after the game because the first month of the season was complete. As we go to the Weiss Johnson Soundbox.
But the Pittsburgh game was the only game that wasn't a one-goal hockey game. So for us, at the end of the month, when you sit back and look at it, you see the quality of opponents we've played, and then you put it together with the types of games we've been asked to play. We're not perfect, but we're a work in progress, that's for sure.
And that's to your point, Struddy. You just finished saying they're not a finished product. But when you can roll off 4 straight wins like that, 3 on the road, beat a couple of pretty good teams, and you're grabbing the bulk of the 5-on-5 goal share, which they have been doing better in their 5-on-5 game, it's definitely trending in the right direction. And though it wasn't a great start, They do seem to have captured some more of the quality they closed the season with last year.
Yeah, maturity. I think a bit of maturity, and I'm going to do a very specific situation. End of the game, the Oilers are protecting the lead against Calgary.
Yep.
And it was so clear. Even the least interested hockey fan could see the Oilers doing 5 in the die. So if you can picture what 5 points of the die looked like, they had that defensive setup. 2 D-men were at the bottom, the center was in the middle, and the 2 forwards are up top. Yeah. That's a very defensive, sound structure. What you're saying is you can have the outside. You can play along the wall. You can pass it all around you want, but you're not going to have an easy time passing it through us and or attacking through there. And Calgary didn't. They did. I don't remember any really good chances that last, I'm going to call it 2.5 minutes, Shogger, 2 minutes, something like that, when they pulled their goalie. And that to me is maturity. It's because it's very easy to get running around and just chasing around. Well, they didn't, and they had that structure, and they made it hard for Calgary. So quite frankly, I thought the Oilers had, well, Hyman probably should have had his hat trick, if not once, twice, two times. And, but that is a specific time where I'm talking about a mature team saying, okay, we're comfortable with how we set up here. We have the right guys on the ice, and we know how to get this done. Because I think they went, I want to say the fourth line, and then I think it was the first line, then the second line, some roughly like that. So he was rolling on everybody. I love that. I love the seeing that, because you got to protect those leads.
Yeah, he's building some personality through his lineup in terms of lines that he wants to use for specific things. So there's a real push right now. I'm hearing a lot of it online. The Jesse Puljujarvi fans out there right now are sensing that his game is improving, and he has been getting better for sure. He's had some better nights. But people are looking at Kailer Yamamoto's output and starting to ask the question, should Puljujarvi get bumped up the lineup because he's playing a little bit better and Yamamoto isn't really producing? So Yamamoto's played 8 games. He's got a couple of assists, no goals yet. Puljujarvi has played 9 games and has 1 goal and is -5. But his game has been better, and he has been part of a more usable line. I'll drop my opinion on this, and then you can go ahead with yours. Sure. Leave him alone. Just leave him where he is. He's playing well there. That line has an identity. The line is working. Leave him alone. Stop trying to drop him into a spot where the nerves are going to get shot and the pressure is going to ratchet up. Give the guy like 20 games to get quality into his game, and then if you need to do something, do something. Is it that simple?
It is. When the team is playing well, you don't mess with the recipe, or don't mess with it, not miss with it. Don't mess with it. And the team's playing well. And right now, the Oilers are about winning, right? That's what they're about, is win. And they're winning. The way the lineup is currently set up. Is Yamamoto putting like he should? No, he's not. He's not there. But quite frankly, it's not like Puljujarvi's killing him either. But they're both contributing in their way right now, not 100%, to a team that's winning hockey games. And I think that's something that cannot be dismissed. You think back to some of those great Tampa Bay teams and the third line they had, Yanni Gord and these types of guys were all in that third line. It's okay to have maybe a player that's overcast in that third line. So I'm very comfortable with where these lines are at. In time it could happen, but the third line is very functional. And you look at, there's 3 things on that line: speed, size, and guys that are willing to work hard. That's what they are. Yamamoto has 2 of them. He doesn't have the size that's required to play on that line. And I think that can't be overlooked. Puljujarvi has that, and he's doing it. And I get it. There's a lot of lovers of Puljujarvi out there, and I am bullish on the player. But where he is right now, he's doing good things. Let's leave it alone. Yeah,
and that's just it. Let him get some more offensive confidence before you put him in a spot where if he comes up with a 0 on any given night, he hasn't done his job, right? If he comes up with a 0 on the third line, it's okay if he's taking care of other areas of his game and he's done well. And on Yamamoto, by the way, hasn't been good enough. And the thing, I don't think that his intensity level was where it needed to be, especially early in that Calgary game either. I thought he looked lackadaisical, a little bit lazy on the wall at times. That Honey Badger style game, I thought, wasn't quite there. So he's not to escape criticism, and he's continuing to get opportunity that maybe he necessarily shouldn't. But I also believe that there is an injury with Yamamoto that's preventing him from shooting the puck the way I think he would want to. I'm not sure he can just completely crack a one-timer off right now. Not going to talk too much out of school, but my sense is there's an injury there that's affecting his ability to shoot, at least to really hammer a one-timer. And we've seen him give it a handle and dust it off before letting it go a few times, haven't you?
Yeah, no, there's no doubt. And listen, the coaches know what's going on in that room, and they on those lines, and there's balance to the lines right now. I mean, when's a lot, like, just think 6-7 years ago, would we be saying these were balanced lines, these top 9, as far as lines that can make something happen, and the fourth line as well.
Where are you at with Dylan Holloway? I mean, not playing a ton, right? What did he end up with the other night? Just going to grab it here. 5 minutes and 29 seconds. I'm trying to grab his game log while we're chatting here. But what have you seen so far? And are we anywhere in the vicinity of that conversation about how if he's not going to play more than a fourth line role, then maybe he shouldn't be here? Are we in the vicinity of that chat yet?
So I made the point that when he was coming back from injury, maybe a trip down the minors to get up and running again would be a good thing.
Yep.
Now, this isn't a punishment. This isn't that I don't like Dylan Holloway. What it is a development of a player. I'm thinking 2, 3, 5, 8 years down the line right now of what I have a vision of what Dylan Holloway can be. He is not that right now. Previous game he took 2 penalties, didn't play much against Calgary, did get the assist, which is great. But I think we're at the, and I'm not saying near, we're at the point where Dylan Holloway should go down and play more in the minors. That's where he's at. In light of what he dealt with the injury, the wrist injury, then coming back and all that stuff. So I think we're at the point where he should go down and play significant minutes down there. The problem is you got to bring someone up that makes the same or less, right? He's got to, what does he make? 950? No, 850.
Yeah, he's in that.
So who is that guy? Who is that player? And I think that's the challenge, because it would be pretty tough maybe to figure that out. But let's put that, maybe we can say, okay, well, let's put that aside for now. But Dylan Holloway, best for his development is to play. And he is not playing. Playing 6 minutes is not playing hockey. I've played 6 minutes. It is not, you're just surviving out there.
Yeah, no, I agree. And he's having trouble, finding opportunities to create moments and to build confidence.
Yeah.
Like he's thrown a few nice hits. He's had a couple of nice little things here or there, but like we're talking 1 or 2 a game, and that's it.
Yeah.
And that's not really a whole lot to build off of. So he's averaging under 6.5 minutes a game. I think he was 6:25. One sec here. Since we're talking about it, I'll just get it. Oh no, my mistake. Yeah. 6 minutes and 47 seconds a night, but still, that's not the minutes. And I remember Ken Holland even saying, if he's not going to be, he's not here to be a fourth-line player, a scratch. So we'll see if they can find a way to work him in a little bit more here in the week to come. But with that third line playing well, who knows? I mean, maybe it's the Yamamoto spot, top 6. I don't know. Do you throw him in there to see? If Yamamoto doesn't pick his game up here?
Maybe. Yeah, I suppose. But what we're running into here, the reality is that the Oilers now have like 1 through 9, a pretty decent group of forwards.
Yeah.
So to squeeze in there, you've got to bully somebody out, or someone really has to fall out.
Yeah.
Yamamoto has earned a spot in the top 9. Dylan Holloway is a growing player, an evolving player. The simplest answer is to put him in the minors to play.
Yeah.
And I'm talking power play, penalty kill, play him at center, play him wherever. I don't care. Play the hell out of that guy. And just kind of really get him up and get his game going and feeling good about himself. And then we revisit it after Christmas. 2 months from now, he might be a different player. But keep in mind, when he goes down, if you bring him up, to me, that's as good as trading for a Brassard, a 7th rounder for a Brassard. He comes up, you have something there, right? He's a very important member of the future of this organization. He's still down there with Borgo, so those 2 guys can play together. Like there's I know there's a lot of excitement about him, and I am too, but there's got to be patience. And I'll be blown away if he doesn't go down the minors in the next, I'll even say week, guys. Honestly. Yeah. Now, on the flip side, I want to talk about Niemo Leinen. I know this wasn't in our pregame chat.
No, hey.
And as I was watching the game last night, I thought about it. Could Niemo Leinen become the Oilers' Zadorov? Zadorov's a big masher who hits guys. He's mean, can make a play with the puck, and takes up a ton of space on their PK. Why can't that be Niemo Leinen? And I thought he had a good game last night. I thought, he was mashing. He hit a couple guys so hard. And that is an element that the Oilers, good teams need that. They need that. And I just kept saying, could this be their Zadorov? And I forget what round he was in, Shogger. I'm sure you probably know, but it wasn't like he was a first rounder. But this guy could be the Oilers Zadorov, and a team needs a Zadorov, especially homegrown.
Yeah, well, he's got I don't think when Zadorov came in, I don't think he was naturally, by the way, he was a first-round pick, 16th overall.
No, but Niemo Leinen was later.
Oh, Niemo,
right?
Yeah. No, Niemo definitely wasn't.
He's
Niemo
like
Leinen was
4th or 5th.
Yeah. I'll grab that right now. When Zadorov came in, he didn't have a natural mean streak, at least that I recall. No. He kind of developed that third rounder is Niemo Leinen. He kind of developed that as he kept going, and I think as he filled out and kind of got a little bit more confidence. But Niemo Leinen, the only thing with him is he's 6'6", 190 pounds. Like there's not a lot of he needs to fill out a little bit more. I think.
Can fill it out. Yeah.
But he plays that physical game. Not many guys do. I don't know that he will be menacing between the whistles the way Zadorov can be. Like, there's a meanness there with Zadorov that comes from him knowing he could drop the gloves with most guys around the league and handle himself just fine. I don't think Niemelainen will get to that place. I just don't know if he has that in him.
I don't think he needs it. I honestly don't think. I think they have enough guys that could do that. I think what he needs to be is mashing guys to 5 to 6 hits a night. And his hits are heavy and hard and making plays. Make plays. Like, what did he play? 15 minutes last night in a very tight game.
He didn't play that many. He played, let me see here.
I thought he did. Are you sure?
Maybe I was looking at, 15-25. Sorry, I was looking at his season average. And his season average was, I think he's at like 9 minutes or something.
Yeah, but the problem is he's been sharing. Yeah. He's been sharing that 7 spot, 7 spot. Yeah. So, 12 to 15 minutes with that guy, I'd love to see him get into a regular penalty killing role. I'd really like to see him try to get that. How likely is that? I think over time he can develop it. But, he killed a little bit the other day, and I think that's really important. I think it's really important for him to have that.
Yep. Well, listen, he's found money, like a 3rd round pick that kind of, I won't say came out of nowhere. Like, they've known about him. They drafted him in the 3rd round for a reason, but he's developed, I think, quicker than many expected. He's passed some guys in the organization. He's passed guys on his way up the depth chart. The fact that Broberg got off to a slow start this year, the fact that he's ready to go has been huge for them because they've got another usable player that they can slot in. Looks like he could be pretty good. Yeah. All right, pal. That's going to wrap it up. Thanks, man. You go
feel better.
Yeah, tend to that massive head wound you got there on the old snout.
Big divot, high stick.
Jeez, man, take it easy. Oh, by the way, can we do this podcast without rolling in Daryl Sutter? Should we go back to the Weiss Johnson soundbox one more time? Daryl Sutter. Daryl Sutter, when asked about Jonathan Huberdeau leaving the bench, a bit of a parental advisory on this clip.
The bench for a little bit in the first period. Are you able to say what it was?
I think you'd go take a shit.
Hey, classic Daryl Sutter.
Jeez. Hey, what a guy.
He didn't even break a smile, too. Just absolutely stone-faced.
Loved it.
What did the players, like, what would Huberdeau think when he hears that?
Oh, the guys would be dying. They would be all
killing
over
themselves laughing?
Oh, just killing it. Loving it. Absolutely loving it.
That's awesome.
So funny.
Good stuff. All right, Struddy, I will let you go. Thank you, my friend.
We'll see you. Talk to you later.
Yeah, we'll do some more podcasts this week. I'll send out the schedule when I can.
Please do.
All right, cheers, pal. And we want to remind the rest of you about our Mid-City Construction Management ticket giveaway. 2 club tickets to the November 5th game against the Dallas Stars. So you just got to follow at Mid-City Inc. on Twitter. DM the answer to our trivia question. That trivia question is, who scored the Oilers' first goal Saturday night against the Calgary Flames? Who scored the Oilers' first goal Saturday night against the Calgary Flames? DM the answer after you follow Mid-City Inc. on Twitter, and we will announce the winner. Really nice seats. Afternoon game against the Dallas Stars. Take one of your kids if you want. Not one of those crazy 8 p.m. starts. 2 club tickets, courtesy Mid-City Inc. Thanks for your downloads and your subscriptions, folks. We appreciate your support here on Got Your Back. We will drop more podcasts this week. Big thanks to our title sponsor, The Short Shifts, Mid-City Construction Management, and, of course, our good friends at Weiss Johnson. Have yourselves a great Sunday night, if you're still up, or a great Monday. We'll talk soon. Cheers.